Yo, welcome. We're back. Another episode of Hard to Guard TV's Power Forward edition with my man,
Yes, sir.
Damien Escobar, one of the
man.
best violinists in this whole world. So, welcome.
Yo, appreciate being here, bro. You finally had me on. I've been watching the episodes, E. I'm like, come on, man.
You're hard.
Wasn't my turn.
You was on tour.
That's a fact. That's a fact, bro. I'm happy to be here, man.
Yeah, so I just want to, real quick, who Damien is. Damien is a world-renowned violinist from Jamaica Queens.
Yes,
and he has an album right now, 25 Days of Christmas. Y'all need to stream it, download it, do whatever you got to do. Because I play it at night before I go to bed. Everyone knows I'm a Christmas head.
My man.
And if you like the violin, he adds a little extra juice to it's not the traditional violin. It's a little R&B kick into it.
That's a fact, bro.
Let's talk about that whole process. What made you do a Christmas album?
Oh man, I'm gonna give you the real, bro. Like when I decided to do this Christmas record, literally for me, man, I was going through a bit of depression. This was in the summertime. When COVID actually hit in March, I knew it was going to be bad. So I went into I'm an entrepreneur. So I went into crisis mode. And I was like, you know what? I feel like everything is going to be live streamed. So I said, let me get a live stream out. So I did a live stream concert and we raised money for PPE for first responders, which was great. I'm like, all right, what's next? Next thing I know, in June, I look up and I'm just burnt out. So it was crazy. Then I got sick for 6 weeks. I was sick for about 6 weeks in the summertime, and I came through that, and I was just depressed, man. And, Christmas music lifts me up. So I really did the record for me, because I wanted to feel better. I started listening to Christmas music in the summertime. I'm like, this is my, it's the most wonderful time of the year, So I started listening to Christmas music in the summertime, man. I just started playing some songs, reached out to my guy, Champ, and said, what do you think about just, producing some records for me for this project? Next thing you know, it just kind of turned into an album. And yeah, bro, this is the fastest I've ever done an album in my entire career. We got everything done, recorded, mixed, mastered in a month and a half. And it was an amazing process, bro. I had so much fun doing this project. I want to record Christmas music all year.
I know. So you did one Christmas song last year.
Yeah.
And then that probably helped fuel you to, add to the album.
Yeah. The reception's been good, man. So, it's I forgot. I haven't released the album in 3 years, so I forgot how crazy the process is. It's not just recording and releasing an album when you're an independent artist. You got to do everything, So it's been a bit of a grind, but it's been fun, man. Just the joy that I bring to people and the messages that I'm receiving about, oh man, this Christmas album is on time. It means a lot.
No, it does mean a lot. One of the things that you're an artist, and I'm I read up on all the artists, and I'm pretty much you're grouped in. How has this whole COVID affected you personally? And I know other artists. So you guys have conversations of how do you overcome this year?
I mean, this year really has been. It's been a bit of a shit show, man. But there's been so much positivity that has come out of COVID, and I dare to say that. But there was just so much silver lining in it, Time that I've been able to spend with my family is invaluable, and time that I've actually had to sit with myself and reflect and focus. I think the biggest challenge that a lot of folks don't really realize is that artists, we make our money by performing, So I'm currently unemployed. That's the biggest thing, and every artist, we're unemployed, so I think the biggest lesson out of this whole entire thing is just diversification, just diversifying. Who would have thought a pandemic would happen? You know what I'm saying? I mean, unless you were one of those conspiracy theorists, no one really knew, so you go all in on your craft when you're an artist, and you feel as though, you're responsible for your success because it's just you, what I'm saying? And you realize what COVID made me realize, and a lot of my homies and fellow artists, is that, we are not in control. And I think that's for a lot of people. You realize that, God is really in control. You know what I'm saying? And you can never question where you are, you know, like, because, you know, when we plan, God laughs. So you can never question where you are. You just got to appreciate where you are and try to find what you're grateful for in that moment, man. But, you know, being unemployed is not anything like, I mean, the music industry has been devastated, you know, and it's been so challenging, even with Congress trying to get, you know, stimulus bills passed to support the music business. Like we're the first people everybody runs to when it comes to listening to good music and getting through things. But we've been the last ones that, you know, Congress has thought about when it comes to, hey, let me bail these guys out. So it's really been eye-opening, man. I think the biggest thing for me has been, you know, diversifying, creating music, but really keeping my mind open to other opportunities. So I'll never be in a situation like this again.
Yeah. So how do you guys see, how do you see next year concerts going? How do you think you're going to engage more with, you know, your base? Like, is it more digitally? Like, are people going to pay digitally to come see you? Like, where do you think it's going?
I think virtual concerts right now, I think virtual concerts were going to happen regardless, right? They were going to happen regardless. It just got fast-tracked by 5 years. I think virtual concerts are going to stay, which is super dope because it's a proven revenue model now, which is great. I think live concerts will come back, but let's say if I play a concert in the House of Blues in Houston, you know, now partnering with these streaming platforms, I can do a concert at the House of Blues and still stream that concert for folks that are in like North Africa, you know what I mean, and get a whole separate revenue stream from that. So I think that's the silver lining in this whole thing. And to be quite honest, that's really been a beauty, you know, that's kind of been the beauty of this whole thing, just watching people like, you know, us as humans adapt to things and just find our way through it. It's been really beautiful to watch, man. So I think next year, you know, pending a vaccine, concerts will get back to normal. But yeah, man, virtual concerts are still going to be there. You know, look at what Versus has done. You know, Versus is like, it's crazy, you know, what Versus has done, man. And I've done some virtual concerts and they've done really well. So I expect that to stay, you know, like I told people, I joked around. I'm like, yo, if virtual concerts continue to do this well, I'm never going back on the road. I was just playing, but I was just playing around. But nah, man, like it's not going anywhere, man.
So let's take it back to when you was 10, and
we're taking it all the way back.
Yeah, we're taking it all the way back. What made you become a violinist?
I mean, so I take it even back further. I was 8 when I first started playing. So I was the youngest in the house with 2 other siblings, right? So it's 3rd grade violin program. I grew up in South Jamaica, Queens. Stand up, Queens. So I grew up in South Jamaica in 3rd grade violin program, and I loved it. Like, I'm like, damn, I love the way this instrument sounds. And it evoked an emotion, you know, in me, man. And it was just like, I want to do that for the rest of my life. So I had to wait 2 years for my turn to take the instrument. So when it was my turn to take it, when I was 8, that was a wrap, bro. Like, it took me about a year and I got really good at it. And I was in Juilliard by the time I was 9. And that was it. Like I said, I want to play the violin for the rest of my life. And I did it. One thing about me, I'm going to keep my word.
Yeah, so you were one of the youngest people in Juilliard school.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy experience.
Did you understand it at the time, or when did you like realize, like, man, that was?
I started to realize it once I saw other people's reaction to it, because you never recognize something when you're actually in it. It's when you're out of it and you see people's reactions, like, oh, this is pretty significant. So, you know, that's kind of big. That's it. That was kind of it, man. Like, okay, this is dope. But I didn't realize that when I was young. I literally realized it as an adult. Like, oh, that was crazy. You know what I mean?
One of the things that impresses me about you, I know, like your brother who played the violin, you guys used to go to New York City trains to the training system and used to play. Like,
that's right.
What made you, like, that's a hustle. Like, what, you know, when you see it now, you see some more talented people on the trains. Like, what made you and your brother say, you know what, let's do it? And then all of a sudden, you guys started creating like a following.
Because we had to do it. We had to do it. Like, growing up in South Jamaica, Queens, you know, growing up in a household, my mom and my aunt, they worked to take care of the necessities. The money that they had were to cover the necessities. I wasn't gonna be out here slinging drugs, man. So like I had talent, I was slinging strings. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it was like I wanted to get certain things. I knew my mom couldn't get it for me, but she gave me the tools to know how to go out there and get it for myself, man. So it was just like, yo, we got this gift. You know, we went on the subways and I started playing on the subways when I was 9, man, making like $200 a day in like an hour and a half on the subways. And it was just crazy. You know, I was able to get things I wanted and even help out when it came to bills in my household, man. That's how we kind of kept things afloat. Me, my brother, and my sister, we were out there just getting after it. But that was big for me, bro, because it's like,
yeah,
you know how it is performing in New York on the subways. Like when folks get up,
the hit or miss.
What? Hit or miss, bro. So I learned how to perform on the subways, like pushing past people that may not have wanted to hear me. I developed this I don't care attitude, you know, when it came to performing, to where as an adult, when I get on stage, it don't matter who I'm in front of, I'm going to play this instrument. You know, hopefully you like it, but if you don't, I'm just really up here, you know, getting mine off, you know, for me personally. You know what I'm saying? So it was the greatest lesson, man. One of the greatest lessons of my life.
Did you realize, like, were there any important people that you penetrated in the train system that you actually had conversations with, that you was like, who are you guys? Who are you young guys that, you know, that
so many people, bro. Yo, everybody, because you remember this is when the music business was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Remember it was 825 8th Ave. That was a Universal building, Def Jam, Rock Nation. So the lines we played on, everybody was on that subway line. So I ran into Andre Harrell. We, you know, may God rest his soul. Ran into, every record exec you can imagine we ran into, man. And I remember back in, it was a long time ago, bro, but I was sitting there at Rockefeller because I ran into, I can't remember the homie's name. I ran into him. He brought me up to Rockefeller, and I'm like, I'm getting a record deal. I'm getting out of the hood. I didn't really understand. I didn't understand how it worked. I was so young, you know, but it was like, you know, it was shit like that, man. Just like a lot of labels. They had no idea what to do with us, you know, but they just knew it was something special. But they had no idea, so it never really materialized into anything. Even Kev Lyles, you know what I mean? Like, this is when he was running Atlantic. You know, he wanted to do something, but it never really materialized because they didn't understand how to market it. You know what I mean?
Because they didn't know violinists could play R&B like that.
100%. But that was like the gift and the curse, because all these labels early on, you know, they didn't really understand what to do with us. You know, so it just gave us an opportunity to learn about the business a lot more and to have ownership. You know, so we started our own record label and just got into, you know, and then by the time once my brother and I, we blew up and we had all this exposure, now we were doing label deals, you know, with like Sony and all these people, you know. So that's the greatest. I tell folks, the greatest thing anyone could have ever done for me early on in my career is say, I don't get it. I don't get it. Because if they would have got it, I wouldn't have the business mind state. I'm a business first guy when it comes to the music business. Music is great, you know, but understanding how niche my craft is, it's important to understand how to monetize it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to monetize it all on my own. Like, I didn't have producers making me beats early in my career. I had to learn how to make beats. I had to learn how to engineer. I had to learn all these things and wear all these hats to where now, you know, I've been in the game 18 years, you know, that was the training ground. Like, I know how to fish for the rest of my life now because of the words we just don't understand.
Can you talk about your first deal?
It was terrible, bro. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. We thought it was the best deal ever. We thought it was the best deal ever. 2006. I won't name the label. But we signed a deal with them. And, you know, we thought it looked good on paper. It looked good on paper. You know, we signed a deal with them, and it was a label situation. And when the record came out, they stopped promotion on the album. And we like, you know, how can you stop promotion on the album? You're contractually obligated to do X, Y, and Z. And no, they were just like, no. And they were like, look, and if you want to get out of this deal, you got to buy your way out this deal. And it just blew my mind, man. And I remember this was in '07 at this point. I remember just being so depressed, like, holy shit. Like, it was just, I learned in that moment how dirty the game was. And, you know, like, we had managers around us at that. Everybody disappeared. And I tell artists, whatever artists are looking at this right now, everybody that's around you right now fucking with you, be mindful of them, because you're the only one that's signing contracts. You know what I'm saying? Like, on that record deal, your manager's name is not on it. Your agent's name is not on it. Your name is on it. You know, so while you're going out there and going for all these labels, make sure not only your paperwork is in order, because your paperwork can be in order, but make sure whatever label you're partnering up with, you believe in them as a person. I've learned to invest in people. I don't invest in companies or labels. I invest in people. I got to feel a vibe. I turned down so many record deals to this day because now I'm an established artist, but I turn them down if I don't feel a vibe with the person, because I need to feel you on a personal level before we can do business. I got to understand who you are, your character, because I would never get in a situation like that again in my life. So young artists coming up, I know you guys are blown up overnight on Instagram and you're getting all these Spotify streams. And I know a few of you guys personally that got into these record deals that you're trying to get out of. Take your time. Record labels are nothing but banks with extremely high interest rates. So just take your time and get to know folks. My bad, E. I'm going up on
I was gonna say, like, so at that time, obviously you was young. When did it become a point in time that you had like a mentor, somebody that you could actually rely on and have conversations and knew the business, and you was like, you started learning, or did you have to learn everything pretty much on your own?
Had to learn everything on my own. Everything, bro. I've had mentors outside of music, never had a mentor in music. Never had that. Would have been great to have it, but I had to be the one to make all the mistakes, man. I had to make tons of mistakes, lose tons of money. You know, we're talking, you know, millions of dollars, just losing it, you know, and then learning from it and being thankful that I was in an opportunity to recoup that money and learn from it, man. Like, and be able to mentor young artists now. You know what I mean?
So one of the things why I respect you so much is because you hit a high, and then you hit a high, and then you hit a major speed bump in your life.
Oh yeah, bro.
And we talk about that, and then you figured it out. You battled, and you came back.
100%, man. I don't know how to stay down, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know how to do that. You know, back in 2012 when the group disbanded. So we did America's Got Talent in 2008. We became super successful.
2008, you also was in the White House with President.
That was 07.
07.
07 we was with Bush. 08 we was with Obama. So it was crazy. Those years were nuts. But 08 was when things really kicked off, because we took third on America's Got Talent, but things popped off. Like, literally a week after the show, we get a call to go play for the Prince and Princess of Dubai, and made 7 figures just from those 2 shows alone. And then all of a sudden we were millionaires. You know what I'm saying? And all the money kept coming in and coming in and coming in. So we spent 4 years on a super high. Just, you know, you can't give young kids from, you know, South Jamaica without financial literacy a shit ton of money, you know, because we're gonna give it right back. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what happened, man. We gave that money right back. And I didn't think it was gonna run out. You know, the group disbanded, and yeah, I hit rock bottom. The group disbanded. I hit rock bottom, man. Like, in a matter of shit. It took about 4 months, and I was homeless. I went from living in this condo in Williamsburg on North 6th Street to being homeless and sleeping on the subways for a few months before I went back to Queens, and entered a phase of depression in my life in that moment. And then I remember going and saying, you know what, I don't want to play music no more. You know how it is when you spend 10 years building something. You like, I don't want to start all over again. I'll do something else. So I went to sell real estate, and that was short-lived. You know, that was short-lived because I'll tell you really quickly. I went to work late one day, and my supervisor said to me, look, I don't care who you used to be, but if you show up here again late, you're fired. And I didn't care about getting scolded. What bothered me was the term used to be. It bothered me so much, the term used to be. And I said, I used to be. Am I really going to go out as a used to be guy? And that's when I remember going back home to South Jamaica Queens that day. I moved back in with my mom's, and I picked my violin back up, and I said, I ain't got no fans, no one knows me as Damien Escobar outside of me being in the group, but I'm not going to be a used to be guy. I'm going to start again and just start recording music and releasing it. And I did that. And I spent and things started to really take off about 3 years after that. That's when boom, everything just kind of blew up, sold out world tours, #1 records. It just kind of started all over again, man. And
so at that point when it started all over again,
mm-hmm.
What was your mindset at the time? You was like, because you learned a lot. You was down. Now you're coming back.
Word.
You think like, oh, money's coming in again. I'm good, But what made you say, you know what? I'm gonna take my time this time.
It was different for me, man. Like it's when you lose it all. If you don't learn anything, there's a lesson in loss, and if you don't learn that lesson, you'll continue to lose, man. Like gratitude was the greatest gift that I could give myself as a human. I just learned to be grateful, man, and just realize, I'm not bigger than the art form, bro. I'm not bigger than music. People say, yo, you so humble, you so chilled. Because I'm not bigger than the art form, man. Like I'm a musician, and I put serving people higher than making money. If you're serving a purpose, the money will follow. But what is money really? You know what I mean? Like I don't even see my money. I'm not a rapper. I'm not putting that shit to my ears. I don't even see it. It's in the bank. It's digital currency. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I don't see it. Like what I do see is I see people. You know what I mean? And I just stay grounded, bro. So what's different for me this time is it's not about the money and the cars and all that other bullshit. It's about family, money, happiness, man. Like fuck these. I see so many artists that work so much money and they're so depressed, man. And I'm like, brother, I empathize. It doesn't solve anything. So I think really just staying grounded in that sense of self has been game changing for me. What I like to call my second career.
Now, one of the things you do very well also is you give back.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, can you talk about some of the philanthropy efforts that you put out there?
Oh man, tons. Sheesh. I mean, we go back. So I have multiple organizations. I have an organization called MADE, which is called it's MADE is an acronym, Music and Arts with Damien Escobar, and it's music programs for kids in at-risk communities. We're supposed to launch this year, but due to COVID, it obviously got pushed back. Art gallery owner in Brooklyn. Obviously, everything's on hold due to COVID. But I put this art gallery together in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, with an emphasis on minority, and minority including Black and brown folks and women, primarily, just really serving the underserved, and I'm a board member for the YMCA. I do tons of work with the YMCA. I'm heavily affiliated with the YMCA. And pretty much anything, man. Like, look, if I can use my gift to help people, who am I not to use my gift to help people? It still blows my mind when I play a show and like 6,000 people show up. I'm like, who the hell y'all here to see? you know what I'm saying? I'll be looking at the marquee and shit. I'm like, who y'all came here to see? It still trips my mind, man. For me, I'm still a kid from Queens. It's just a blessing, man. So yeah, man, giving back is everything, man. And contribution, man. Like contributing makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like when you help people, it just makes you feel good inside, man. Like try it. People, try it out there. Try it. You feeling like shit? If you get out of your world and into somebody else's world, I promise you'll realize your problems are nowhere near in comparison to the suffering that they're dealing with.
So as a businessman, how do you now, when you talk to these young and coming artists, or you try to, you're mentoring sometimes.
Right.
What's the first thing you tell them?
Don't be stupid. No, you know what, man? Look, I tell them, look at what everybody else is doing in the game. This is the advice I give to everybody. Look at what everyone else is doing in the game and do the exact opposite. It may take you a little bit longer to get there. right? But when you make it through, you'll be the only one doing it, right? How many other violinists, black violinists, do you know that's like me? How many do you know like me, bro?
Two.
Exactly.
You and Gag, the other girl, the girl that be on the gram.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like and it's crazy. Nobody knows, but she signed to my record label.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
She's not. She is now.
She is.
Okay.
She signed to my label. So that's the thing.
Collabo coming soon, hopefully.
Oh, no question. No question about it. I tell them, look what everybody else is doing and do it different. Because you may pop off doing what everybody else is doing, but when that trend dies, you die with it. You know what I'm saying? So look at what everyone else is doing and do something completely different and just stay consistent. And if you only got 10 followers or 1,000 followers, act like you got 1 million. And just continuously release content like you're talking to 1 million people, because your back catalog becomes your new catalog. You know what I'm saying? Stay consistent, stay focused, and don't listen to anyone that's not contributing something positive. Everybody's journey is, your journey is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Stay true to your journey, stay true to your art form and yourself, and the masses will see it.
One of the dope things, especially like, you know, being black in the black and brown community, is that, like you said, you rarely see, you know, violinists looking like you. And now I feel like, you know, obviously with social media, it's helped you propel yourself to, you don't need like
100%.
a major labels and stuff like that, because, you know, you go on there, you play all the hip hop music, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
How many hip hop artists have you talked to and had conversations like, hey, we need to collab, we need to do something?
Tons, bro.
And you either
on the gram,
let's make it happen.
On the gram, bro. It's crazy. Like, that's the ill thing about social media, man. Like, you meet so many people on social media. I mean, I talk to a lot of people, you know, quite often. A lot, not so much hip hop, because I don't do much hip hop. Like a lot of R&B. You know, I love R&B, so it's like I'm constantly talking like, you know, popular R&B artists, whether they're popular like on Spotify or online, or whether they're like old school, you know, R&B artists. Like, I'm constantly in communication with them and just trying to find ways to collaborate, or maybe some tour ideas together, things of that nature, man. So that's consistent. Like hip hop, my hip hop days are done, bro. I don't really do hip hop anymore. You can't sell concert tickets, and nobody's buying tickets to see hip hop violin. They're not. They'll buy a ticket. Because you got to think about the demographic for hip hop. It's pretty much like young, you know, white kids. They're the main ones that buy rap concert tickets. They're not coming to see me play violin, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So my audience is, you know, grown and sexy, man. I got the same audience that of like Maxwell, and I've done concerts with Max, you know, like Brandy, Cam, Fantasia. We've all done concerts together. So that's my demo, that grown and sexy, you know. So I'm like always constantly talking to singers like that, bro.
I was gonna say best conversations with who are some of the best conversations with artists you've had where you're like, you're always either learning something or you're plotting something.
Man, you know, Shaka Khan was a dope conversation. I had a dope conversation with Shaka. She's super dope and she's hella funny. And you know, man, one of my favorite conversations were with the Jacksons, the Jackson 5 minus Michael. First off, they all speak very low.
Yeah.
And I'm like this on them. Like, what you say? Say that again. You know, but they're just so positive, man. And it's like they're just so full of wisdom. You know, we talking about these cats like came from the 50s, man. Like even and Stevie too, man. Like talking to Stevie is just like always crazy. Like it's those cats that I'm just soaking up knowledge from. You know, because
when you tell me a conversation you had with Stevie and how did that go?
I tell you off the record. It was always interesting conversations. Always interesting conversations. Stevie got some stories. Stevie got stories. The thing with Stevie, man, he always got a story for you. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to the studio with Stevie, plan to be there for like 20 hours. Because he's gonna be in the studio with him for 20 hours just talking. You know what I'm saying? And that's a cat that you can just soak. We talking about Stevie man, we're talking about decades, bro. Like that's like 60 years, man. Like he's seen everything when it comes to adversity. You know, I want to talk to cats that have been through something. I don't really want to talk to these new Instagram kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, nothing against them. I love what they're doing, but they don't know what it's like to have to fight through something to get to where you are. You know what I mean? They just throw a video on TikTok and they go viral. Next thing you know, they got money next to their ear. Cool, I got that, but I can't learn anything from that. These old cats that like they couldn't play in certain cities because of their skin color, those are cats I want to soak up game from.
So when you tell them your story, you know, what do they say?
Yo, they feel me, man. Like they feel me, like they get it. They understand. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it never stops for me. Like for me, it never stops. Like people look at me, they're like, yo, man, you're so successful, you're so this, you're so that. I'm like, but I'm still fighting every day. You know, like I'm still fighting for, you know, my voice every single day in this music business. You know what I mean? Like it's a tough business and it'll wear you down, you know? So, you know, like it's, if I can share that with somebody that has experienced it, man, it lets you know you're not alone, man. It always feels good when you're not alone in the situation.
So what's the future look like for Damien Escobar Inc.?
Damien Escobar Inc. Oh, you made me a new company, Inc. Yeah. All right, Damien Escobar Inc. Got you. I got you. Oh man, short term, man. I've been doing movies, man. I've been doing a lot of auditions for a lot of roles, a lot of big movies. So movies, more music, some touring, you know, and just a lot of brand things, man. I got a line of violins. I got a line of wine coming out. You know, I got the perfume out. You know, just a lot of.
I mean, where can people get? Is the wine out already? Where can people get the wine? What's the name of the wine?
Wine's dropping. The wine is dropping. I got the perfume is out. It's called H2H. It's called From Him to Her. H2HFragrance.com. Violin is out. Damien Escobar Violins.com. You can grab that. And yeah, bro, just helping talent, you know, get on and get to the next level. You know, it's family is important to me, man. And just, you know, my kids, bro, like helping my kids get to the next level and figuring out what they want to do with their lives and helping to expose them. That's been the best thing about COVID is just spending this time with the kids and getting to know what they want to do and helping them, you know, do the things that they want to do, man. So for me, a lot of the same thing and sprinkle some new shit.
The wine, what made you want to come up with your own wine? And talk about like that whole process.
Because I drink a hell of a lot of it. And I figured it'd be cheaper if I make my own. No, I'm kidding. No, you know, look, I love things that stimulate senses, you know, like as a musician, right? So every like wine has notes, music has notes, fragrance has notes, you know, and the cool thing about the notes in wine is you can mix a lot of different things. In music, you only get 8 notes on a scale, but wine, you have so many different notes to play with. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with fragrance. You know, you have so many different notes to create a scent. You know what I mean? So I tell people I'm in the senses stimulation business. Anything that stimulates senses, man, you can absolutely catch me there because there's a certain kind of nostalgia, you know, when it comes to music, when it comes to fragrance, when it comes to a good wine, you always remember where you had it first or where you heard it first. And those are memories. They go in your memory bank. They stimulate your senses, man. So it's like, that's powerful, man, you know, because all we have are moments. So I want to be able to contribute to those moments. You know what I mean?
Dang, man, like I said, man, you know, the funny thing between us, like we met 5 years ago. You know, we talked about this. You sent me an email. I was having a celebrity basketball game.
And you ain't put me in the game.
And you sent me an email like the day before. Right? I already had the roster set. And then, dang, it wasn't you. It was somebody else. They're like, yo, he's really good. He's a real good basketball player.
I hope.
And 2, he's a dope violinist. And I remember I was like, he's a violinist? So I was like, yeah, so I was like, yo, I don't got no roster spots yet, man. Why didn't you hit me the day before? I was like, they're like, he just found out about it. I was like, and it's funny now, years later, like we're cool now. So it's
Word up.
I just laugh. When I have another one, you definitely got to play. I know you're a little.
Nah, you want me to play when I'm washed up? Now you want me to play when I'm washed. I got you. Okay.
You know?
All right.
Get like a good hard 5 minutes, 6 minutes, you'd be all right.
Bro,
You know?
now I'm at the age now where the OGs, I just want to sweat. I just want to get a sweat. Yeah, that's me, bro. Nah, come on.
Nah, but like I said,
you got a golf tournament, holla at your boy.
But like I said, man, I'm proud of you.
Appreciate you, bro.
25 Days of Christmas. I was listening to it last night at 1 a.m. Like went to sleep. I listened to my 7 songs and went to sleep.
My brother. Yes, sir.
Those stream numbers are coming up, popping up, and then
it's looking good, bro.
Is it?
Yeah, surprisingly, I didn't even know.
I never knew, like with Apple, how do you find out how many on the numbers? Do you get a report? Does it go to like?
Yeah, you get a report. You can check the charts, man. Like me, I'm an indie artist. Like I'm coming out Q4. You know what I'm saying? So like out of top like 100 albums in the country, like all genre, I was like what 42, 41. You know what I'm saying? Like which is crazy because it's not even holiday season yet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even Christmas season yet. So we working, bro. You know what I mean? Like we working. We gonna promote this heavy. I'm glad you love the record, man. Like, cause I felt pressure when I saw you that night. You was like, yo, damn, I'm waiting for the album. I'm like, oh man, I hope this is a good record because he waiting for the album.
So, you know what's crazy? I was actually reading an article. Mariah Carey's Christmas album to this day is still one of the most played every single Christmas, and she makes millions and millions of dollars.
Yep.
Just on this quarter.
Yep.
Which is my mind. Like it's not $1 million she's making. She's making like $5 to $10 million easy.
And chilling. She just coasting, bro. That's what it's about, man. You put a dope body of music out, you good. Mariah, she's good forever. She's crazy.
No, honestly,
it's crazy.
It's one of the greatest Christmas albums of all time.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
So, her, Michael Bublé.
Bublé, come on. That's my favorite. Woo!
People play him all the time. And, hopefully, every year people are playing Damien Escobar, the violin.
We're going to get there, bro. Look, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. I got a whole nother. Well, I'm going to tell you off the record.
Like I said, man, I appreciate it.
My brother.
I'm definitely 25 Days of Christmas. That's it. That's all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it.